Hi, Joanna. Welcome to the NTM Growth Marketing Podcast. I'm excited to be speaking with you today about Entail AI.
Hi, Andrew. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here as well.
I want to start off and hear a little bit more about Entail AI because I was very impressed when I visited the website and I was doing some preparation for this conversation. But I'd love for you to share, what is Entail AI all about? What is your role? What does the life of Joanna look like?
Absolutely. So, Entail is a new company. We started as an SEO company. And basically, when it started, it was this idea that our founders had to help clients with their SEO, with their traffic, to get higher traffic on their websites, and as a consequence, to get higher leads. And the first, let's say, thing that they noticed when they started helping their clients was that good content mattered a lot and helped a lot. So they started then focusing on that. And over the years, as new tech rolled out, AI rolled out, basically Entail has adapted our processes, our strategies, and everything in order to best help our clients so that they can get more traffic, more leads, get higher ranking on Google, and just generally be more successful.
And what is your role and what does the day in the life of Joanna look like?
Yeah. So right now I'm the head of podcast at Entail. I started out as an editor, and I have quite a lot of experience in editing and content marketing. But I was very excited to do podcasts. I've done podcasts a little bit before, and Entail gave me that opportunity to really go into it, into the details, and just run their podcast from the ground up. So I'm responsible about helping the CEO to find guests, to find people that will be interesting, that our audience will enjoy and benefit from having on the podcast. Usually I'll contact them. The CEO will also contact them, Tom, and then I'll just be managing things, the questions, making sure that the guests understand, giving them the rundown and all of that. You should know yourself the processes.
Right.
I basically helped Tom, which is the CEO, because he hosts the podcast, but he doesn't have any time to, do all the admin work.
Right. You made a comment around great content in your first answer, and I'd love to hear from you. Why is a podcast a great source of content for a company, and what makes a podcast great?
Absolutely. So I think that a podcast is a really great way of getting fresh content that is not AI generated, content that comes from experts and people that know what they're talking about and that they're passionate and want to talk about it. So you get not only the quality of it, but you also get the excitement, you get the experience, the real life examples of everybody that you have on the podcast, of all these experts that have gone through a multitude of projects and very different processes, and they are all willing to share them with you and your audience. So,
And you do audio and video for the podcast?
yep, we do audio and video, and we mostly use the video to make content for our socials.
Do you have any good suggestions on AI tools of helping, for video editing or formatting content? Is we use VideoTap, if you've heard of it, and that's fantastic for editing videos for us.
I wouldn't know about that because we have a video team that deals with that.
Oh,
And
gotcha. So you have highly produced videos
yeah,
for the podcast.
yeah, we have an editing team and a video team, and the editing team will take the content, or let's say the most important strategies or tips from an episode, and turn them into a blog post that then our readers can also read. And then we have the video team that creates the snippets, the YouTube videos, and everything else.
Awesome. I want to talk about some overall marketing concepts at Entail. Can you share some guiding principles that guide your marketing strategy?
Mhm. Absolutely. So our marketing strategy is guided by the same core principles that inform our product offerings. And we have two main goals, which is growing traffic and then converting it. And the first one is data. Everything always starts with data, and that means that we look carefully at organic search parameters such as the volume and the competition and the SEO. And then we verify the relevance of the topics to the brand, and we ensure that we always take a fresh perspective and that the content is unique. So unique content is also one of our core principles, again. And then we also focus on our audience a lot because we want that their search intent to be, to understand at what funnel stage they are and what search intent they have, so that we can then meet them there. And we meet them across social media and searches, and then we drive them towards conversion.
Can you explain, you mentioned what stage of the funnel they're in. Can you explain what you mean by that and how you might communicate differently to someone at different stages of the funnel, or, what content you might even want to share with them based upon where they're at?
Yeah, sure. So, well, we do this reach to meet them across social media or searches or blog posts. So someone that is more interested on the product will definitely come, to the website.
Mhm.
They'll check the blog. They'll get more. They might schedule a demo, which is another stage of the funnel. So we have content that is for every single step of that stage. And the first one is obviously the social media. This is where we're trying to reach that wide audience for people to just get to know us. They usually get to know our podcast and to hear those snips and bits of that. And as I explained, the website, and then we have, for the people that are interested in demos, we have other content and offerings that we share with them as well.
I want to hear about so Joanna, the individual, what type of content really appeals to you? As you're scrolling through social media, as your, blog posts, auditory, is it long form, short form? What really captures your attention the most?
Oh, I love long form posts. I'm
Blog
very
posts?
blog posts. Yeah. So I'm very curious by nature, and I will research anything if I find it interesting or if it piques my interest. And I really want a lot of information on a topic. And I know right now there's a problem with the short attention spans and nobody wants to read a lot, but I'm basically on the other end of the spectrum. When I want to read about a topic, then basically I want all the information that I can get on it so that I don't have to search multiple places to find more information, or I would like the sources cited or linked in that document so that I can go and do more research.
Do you still read books, that you can put in your hand, or do you
I
prefer
do.
audiobooks? You prefer books in your hand?
I love the feeling of a book in my hand, to be honest, and the smell of books is um
A new book smells great.
yeah. I don't think I could. I've tried audiobooks, but I always seem to lose it. It becomes like almost background noise,
Mhm.
and then I don't remember what I hear. But when I read, then I'm focused on it. So that's that's much better.
I feel the same way about audiobooks. Because when you're reading a book, you have to be paying attention to, every line, predicates the next one. You have to be following it. And sometimes the podcast is just nice background noise for me, and I can kind of tune in and out. But I was reading audiobooks or listening to them, and I would not comprehend anything that happened in an entire chapter. I was trying to listen to a Star Wars audiobook a few months
Oh,
ago. And for after an hour, I just thought, I don't know anything that's going on here, as I've been zoning in and out of this as I've been driving. So this this isn't going to work.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a huge fan of sci-fi, so it would not work. I tried to listen to Foundation by Asimov, and I could not. It was a terrible audiobook. You have to read it to understand it.
I want to switch topics back to some things you were mentioning about, top of funnel, your audience. Can you talk about the importance of understanding your avatar and even, at your own podcast, how do you figure out who the right person is to be listening to this?
Absolutely. So we are very lucky in that we already had an existing audience built
Mhm,
through social medias and the LinkedIn connections of everybody that works at Entail. And since we all were previously, we worked heavily in marketing and editing, then we had that sort of base audience
mhm,
ready that we could reach them, and they responded really well to the content. So it was a little bit easier for us, but we did have to put a lot of work into making it as as best as it can be. So we wanted to really have really good content that these people would like and then would tell their friends, their work friends, their colleagues about.
mhm.
And that's how we sort of build this audience of marketers and everybody that's working in AI and executives and directors. And yeah, that's about it.
If we were to look into the future of 2024, what is an area of marketing that you're excited about this year?
Mm.
And it could be anything from, AI, a new SaaS product, a new social platform. What's getting you excited this year?
Oh, I think AI for me, it's definitely AI. We saw last year how it basically it trailblazed through the entire content marketing industry.
Mhm.
And being a content marketer myself, I definitely felt the threat of it at first. And but then I saw how far behind AI really is. Still, I'm very excited by the potential that it shows. And it's like this whole new wave of AI tools that are coming out for everything from, mental health to project management. I'm very excited about that and how I can use that to ease my own workload as well.
I want to have a follow-up question to that is, we'll see polls or graphs or whatever around how AI is coming after white collar professions, marketers being one of the segments I always talk about. What advice would you have for marketers to stay ahead of the curve so they don't get replaced by AI in the future?
Um, Learn how to use AI tools. You have
Mhm.
to know your enemy before you can beat it. And by understanding how these AI tools work and learning how to use them, you can make sure that yourself and your work and the quality of your work will always be much better than the quality of the work that an AI tool can put out.
So I have a few last questions for today. The first one is this. So I always give this analogy that, if I was going to a heart surgeon, I don't want to hear from a heart surgeon around how they're going to split test, how they're going to fail forward. If he used any of those cliche, marketing or technology terms, I don't want to hear that. I want to know he or she has 100% success rate. But as marketers, we have that ability to split test and fail and learn and collect data. So I'd love for you to share, some a marketing failure that you've had and what you learned through that experience, something that didn't work out for you.
Hmm. Okay. This might be a little bit tough. I don't think that I've had a very huge marketing failure. But when I was heavily doing campaigns and paid advertising, we always do A/B tests, and this was when I worked for the Utah company, which was Agreed, and one of the tests that we did was that the first mistake, I think, was that we ran it on Facebook.
Mhm.
We just wanted to see, it was an experiment, but it was a failure. Our audience was set right. We did it in LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, but Facebook just wasn't the platform for
Mhm.
an idea management SaaS platform. So we didn't find anybody that was interested there, and I think that was the biggest failure that I've had.
No, I love that. And what I meant by that as well is, the marketing failure was more the split testing. We tried to run a Facebook campaign, it didn't work. So I love hearing stories like that. And I want to hear on the flip side, for you to brag on yourself and share a marketing win that you've had, a campaign, a project, whatever that right vernacular is that you're really proud of.
Oh, absolutely. So this is going to come from Entail. It's very recent. We launched our CRO software, and it was such a success that even some of us were surprised. I mean, it does everything that it's supposed to, and it works great. But the reception of it was I was really surprised
Mhm.
by how well people responded to it, and it gave us this opportunity that to create so much case studies and use cases that we can share with our clients, and in turn we convince them much more easier.
Mhm.
And I think that is the biggest success story right now that we've had.
So lastly, Joanna, if someone is inspired by this conversation and wants to learn more about you, wants to learn more about Entail AI, can you share any links, social media platforms, best ways to follow up with you?
Absolutely. So they can follow me on LinkedIn. I assume that you're gonna put my full name.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's Joana Eltjona Ymeraj. And then you can also Google Entail AI, and find us on our other platforms. We share a lot on our LinkedIn. We're very heavily concentrated there, but
Mhm.
we also have the podcast page for the Entail AI podcast, which I would suggest to our audience today to listen to it, because it's really valuable, and I think they would like it.
Where can we find the podcast? Can you share that again?
So the podcast is on another page on the Entail website.
Okay,
You'll
perfect.
find it under resources, and then there's a drop-down menu, and the podcast is there.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.